2017 can be argued as the year of the trends, from stretched-out 18:9 displays to dual-camera implementations to facial recognition security, all adopted by many of the flagships released this year. And you know what else they adopted? This crazy idea of ultra-premium pricing around the neighborhood of $1,000. However, there's a new phone that adopts all of these newfound qualities, and then some, but without the $1,000 price tag. Enter the OnePlus 5T, the latest high-end smartphone from the Chinese company. At first glance, it could be perceived as a minuscule update, coming only a few short months after the company's previous flagship, the OnePlus 5. But don't be fooled, because if you look at the larger picture, it might astound you to know how the OnePlus 5T stacks up against the giants in the flagship space. In the box: dash power adapter, dash Type-C cable, silicone protective case, OnePlus decals, safety information, user's guide, portrait mode. Even with the dual-camera implementation, the OnePlus 5T's portrait shots aren't entirely the most reliable. Not only do you have to be mindful about the distance, since it'll only work when your subject is within a certain proximity from the camera, but you also need to ensure there's enough lighting in the scene. After experiencing firsthand how the Google Pixel 2 XL is able to deliver amazing portrait shots using only a single camera, the performance here out of the OnePlus 5T's dual-camera setup isn't as convincing. Frankly, its performance is a toss-up because sometimes it nicely identifies and separates background elements from the subject. And in other times, it does a poor job of it, especially under low-light situations. Video quality: the OnePlus 5T is capable of shooting video in 720p at 30 fps, 1080p at both 30 and 60 fps, and 4K at 30 fps. Equally so, we are not particularly sold by its video capturing performance either. Sure, it does nicely for most occasions, but there's some evidence of noise and graininess even with video shot under ideal conditions, not to mention the distracting jello effect introduced by the image stabilization algorithms. Speaking of which, since the OnePlus 5T lacks OIS, it instead relies on its electronic image stabilization to stabilize footage. It does nicely to combat against minor shakes, but it's not effective when there's just an intense amount of movement. In particular, it exhibits this somewhat robotic movement. As for its quality, you're naturally going to achieve the best results shooting in 4K, but 1080p quality isn't bad either. Oddly enough, it seems as though that the eyes might be causing a little bit of havoc when recording video under low light. Not only are we greeted to significantly softer tone footage, but the eye seems to be affecting the camera's focus, resulting in this jarring appearance with videos. It's undeniably distracting, which makes us less likely to shoot with it.